Jean-Claude Van Damme's journey is a tale of resilience, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of a dream that seemed impossible. Born in Brussels, Belgium, he grew up in a world that often mocked him for his thin frame, thick glasses, and awkward demeanor. Childhood ridicule left him feeling invisible, teaching him early that the world could be cruel and indifferent. Yet these experiences ignited a determination to transform himself. He vowed that he would not allow the world's perception to dictate his destiny. What began as a private struggle against shame became the foundation for a life built on discipline, physical mastery, and unwavering focus. His journey from a shy, mocked boy to one of the most recognizable faces in action cinema proves that adversity, when faced with determination, can be the starting point of greatness. Childhood struggles. The mirror that broke him. Jean-Claude Van Damme, born Jean-Claude Camille. François von Warenberg faced humiliation from a young age. At 11, he confronted himself in a mirror, feeling shame settle deep within. The ridicule of his peers was relentless, a constant reminder that he did not fit the mold society expected. But instead of breaking him, these early wounds became catalysts for self-transformation. He internalized the lesson that visibility often begins with pain, and he resolved to change the narrative of his life. Mockery became fuel for ambition, pushing him to find outlets where strength and skill could speak louder than words. This internal vow marked the beginning of his disciplined journey, one that would eventually turn him into a formidable physical presence, capable of astounding feats that combined power, grace, and precision. Discipline as salvation. Karate and ballet. Van Damme's parents instilled order and routine even if they did not foresee Hollywood stardom for their son. At a young age, he was enrolled in karate under Master Claude Goetz, enduring years of rigorous training. By 18, he had earned a black belt and represented Belgium on its national team, a symbol of early mastery and perseverance. Yet martial arts alone was not enough. Van Damme also embraced ballet, an art form that demanded vulnerability, balance, and meticulous control. Ballet challenged him in ways karate did not, breaking his body before rebuilding it with precision. The combination of martial arts and ballet created a foundation of unmatched discipline, flexibility, and endurance, equipping him to perform stunts that defied the expectations of cinema and demonstrated a rare synthesis of strength and grace. The dream takes form. A night in a church. Around the age of 12, a restless Van Damme found himself in a quiet church, whispering 3 wishes: to save the world, protect nature, and become a movie star. This moment was not a fleeting fantasy. It was a solemn commitment to a vision of his life beyond the ridicule and invisibility he had known. That dream carried him across oceans, through years of rejection and struggle, serving as a constant source of motivation. It fueled countless hours of training, endured in solitude, sweat, and sometimes hunger. The dream was a private contract with himself, a reminder that while the world might ignore him, he had already declared his own future. It marked the birth of a persistence that would become the hallmark of his career, blending ambition, belief, and relentless action. Arriving in America, hunger and survival. In 1982, Van Damme arrived in the United States with $3,000 in his pocket, an accent that immediately marked him as foreign, and a dream that seemed too big for his small frame. Hollywood, distant and indifferent, offered no immediate opportunities. He slept in a car, worked as a pizza delivery driver, limo chauffeur, and bouncer, enduring humiliation and hardship to survive. Hunger and rejection were constant companions, but he refused to surrender. Even with little to eat, he forced his body into daily splits and training routines, envisioning the dream as already real. This period of survival shaped not only his physical capabilities, but also his mental resilience. He became a master of self-discipline, proving that belief in one's purpose could outweigh the world's indifference and pave the way for eventual recognition. First steps toward recognition. Background roles and stunts. Van Damme's first on-screen appearances were small, almost invisible, but they carried immense significance. In 1984, he appeared briefly in Breakin', a film that allowed him to showcase his splits, and joined the stunt team for Missing in Action, demonstrating his capacity for endurance and pain. His first named role came in 1986's No Retreat, No Surrender, playing a Russian fighter named Ivan. While the film was modest and far from a blockbuster, it marked the first time Van Damme's talent and physical prowess were recognized on camera. These early experiences provided proof that his dedication could create opportunity. The transformation from an overlooked immigrant to a visible actor was underway, setting the stage for a breakthrough that would capture global attention and establish him as a new kind of action star. Bloodsport. The moment the world saw him. In 1988, Van Damme's career reached a turning point with the release of Bloodsport. Playing Frank Dux in a secret martial arts tournament, he stunned audiences with his combination of strength, precision, and agility. Made on a modest $1.5 million budget, the film's financial and cultural impact far exceeded expectations. Van Damme became an overnight sensation, an immigrant with broken English transforming into a global action icon. For the first time, he was truly seen, and the recognition validated years of sacrifice, pain, and relentless training. The triumph, however, came with pressure. Success demanded continuous performance and the ability to outdo himself. While Van Damme finally stood in the spotlight, the road ahead required not just physical endurance, but emotional resilience to handle the weight of fame. Global stardom, kickboxer, double impact, and beyond following Bloodsport, Van Damme's career ascended rapidly. Kickboxer showcased his split kick and became a $50 million phenomenon, solidifying his reputation as the muscles from Brussels. Lionheart, double impact, Universal Soldier, and Time Cop reinforced his global recognition and established him as a defining force in action cinema. His combination of martial arts, ballet-trained grace, and physical charisma became his trademark, reshaping audience expectations for action heroes. Yet behind the public success, Van Damme's personal life began to strain under relentless travel, tight schedules, and constant work. The very forces that lifted him to international fame also isolated him, showing that the price of global recognition often comes at the expense of personal connection and stability, love, betrayal, and personal turmoil. In 1987, Van Damme married Gladys Portugues, a former bodybuilding champion, and they had 2 children, Christopher and Bianca. The union offered a glimpse of balance, yet the relentless demands of Hollywood created cracks in their life together. Absence, temptation, and constant work placed stress on the marriage, which eventually dissolved in 1992. Van Damme later reflected that he was simultaneously present and absent, a paradox, highlighting the challenge of sustaining personal relationships while pursuing global stardom. This period revealed a deeper layer of his journey. Achieving one's dream does not automatically heal the emotional wounds that fueled it. Even amid fame and success, vulnerability and human connection remained fragile, often secondary to the demands of career and ambition. The lasting legacy: strength, born from pain. Jean-Claude Van Damme's story extends beyond cinematic spectacle. It is a tale of resilience, belief, and transformation, showing how discipline and ambition can create extraordinary results. Yet, it is also a reminder that professional success cannot erase the emotional scars formed in youth. Today, at 65, Van Damme no longer chases the same level of glory, instead reflecting on a life of immense achievement intertwined with sacrifice. His legacy endures not merely for martial arts or film roles, but for embodying the truth that human strength is often forged in adversity. Pain can produce power, but it cannot fully erase the marks left by struggle. In this duality lies the enduring fascination of his life, a testament to perseverance and the complex cost of chasing a dream. Conclusion: the man beyond the legend. Jean-Claude Van Damme's life is both inspiration and cautionary tale. From an awkward, ridiculed boy in Brussels to a global action icon, his path illustrates the power of determination, discipline, and relentless belief. Yet it also shows the personal costs of ambition, fractured relationships, absence, and emotional scars. His story resonates because it reflects the human struggle to be seen, to succeed, and to reconcile personal sacrifice with achievement. Van Damme is more than an action star. He is proof that greatness requires pain, endurance, and unwavering focus. Even as he ages, his story continues to inspire those who dare to dream, reminding us that visibility and success are hard-won, often coming at a price that must be faced with honesty, courage, and resilience.